All right, Larry Krueger here from the Krug Show at Levi's Stadium after 49er practice with a little 49er recap of everything that happened on this Thursday. First of all, as far as not practicing today, Eric Armstead sat out with a foot and a knee injury. Aaron Banks didn't practice today. He's got a hip. Orrin Burks is going to be out a couple weeks with a knee injury. He didn't practice. Ross Dwelly has got that ankle injury, the high ankle sprain, so he remains out. Javon Hargrave's got a hamstring pull. He didn't practice. Elijah Mitchell had a knee. He didn't practice. Mooney Ward with a groin. He didn't practice. Dre Greenlaw is expected to play on Sunday. He's battling 3 or 4 different injuries, but he is expected to go Sunday against the Cardinals in Arizona. And limited today at practice was Spencer Burford, who also is battling a knee injury. So a lot of injuries. In fact, a lot of minor injuries, and that's just normal this time of the year. When you get to this point in the season, everybody, the old saying, everybody's injured, everybody's hurt. Tell me when you're injured. That's the old saying. And the Niners have a bunch of guys who are hurt as they're limping towards the finish line and trying to get fresh for late in the year and a big run to the Super Bowl. So a lot of guys missed practice today. Couple notes on Sunday's game. The Niners will be wearing the red home jerseys in Arizona. So Arizona will be in the white. The Niners will be in their normally home jerseys, which would be the red tops and the brown pants, or the gold pants, I should say. So there you go. Niners wearing red, Cardinals wearing white on Sunday. Also, it's supposed to be about over 60% 49er fans. According to the estimate, should be a huge percentage of 49er fans in the house there at State Farm Stadium in Glendale. Today is Kyle Shanahan's 44th birthday, if you can believe that. Kyle has aged incredibly since he took this job, but Kyle Shanahan was hired was born in the same year the Niners hired Bill Walsh. I saw Dave Lombardi had that earlier today. That's kind of an interesting note. And here's Shanahan, probably the second best coach in Niners history. I guess some people would maybe argue Jim Harbaugh or George Seifert or maybe somebody else. But I would say Shanahan's probably the second best coach in 49ers history. Interesting look at the number of teams that are 10-3 in the league and what their schedule looks like as far as difficulty. The Niners are 10-3 with the 9th hardest schedule in the league. Dallas is 10-3 with the 3rd easiest schedule in the league. Baltimore is 10-3. They have the 6th easiest schedule in the league. And Philadelphia is 10-3, and by stats, they have the hardest schedule in the league. So I thought that was kind of an interesting note. We'll throw that one in from earlier today. Chris Forster, we got a chance to talk to the Niner offensive line coach. He says he really likes the new offensive lineman Ben Bartch and his ability to fit their scheme, to maybe play either guard spot or the center spot. And he said that George Warhop, the former offensive line coach who's sitting out this year, that they had a little sit-down meeting, and that George said, man, this guy's a perfect fit for your scheme. And he watched him, and he felt like, Bartch was struggling movement-wise with the knee injury that he had, but they like him down the road as a prospect that they can utilize at right guard, left guard, or center, and feel like he's got an ability to fit the 49ers scheme really, really well. And Forster was just talking about how they feel like they've really got a good player in Ben Bartch. I got into the locker room today, and I had a chance to talk to George Kittle. Kittle told me, I said, hey, man, you get another tilt with Budda Baker. There's some of George's best highlights, I think, come against Budda. And he just talked about all the respect he has for Budda Baker, that he just plays incredibly hard, that he's intense, that he's a great competitor, and he's looking forward to another head-to-head battle with Budda Baker, the Cardinal safety, who's one of the best safeties in all of football. Had a chance to do a one-on-one with Jason Verrett. If you look around Levi's Stadium today, there's a lot of welcome back JV signs around, and the Niners are thrilled to have Jason Verrett. He, in a lot of ways, is an inspirational figure among their players. When he came for a workout, 7 different veterans left the locker room and walked out onto the field to go watch the workout, because there's just a lot of guys that are invested in his story of perseverance. He's torn both ACLs. He's ruptured both Achilles. And here he is still fighting it out trying to win a Super Bowl. He's never won a Super Bowl before. And I asked him about it today. He said, man, it would be so cool to win a Super Bowl here with this team after all the things he's been through. And he also talked about how he's really intent on trying to make a positive impact on the young DBs. The Niners have 4 or 5 really young DBs that could benefit from the experience that Jason Verrett has, whether it be on game day or even just watching film. So Verrett says that, he looks at his role as a way to kind of not just get himself ready to play, but get these young guys coached up and ready to contribute on a regular basis. Nick Bosa, by the way, called Jason Verrett an inspiration to the team. And when a guy's gone through the kind of injuries that Verrett has, and he's persevered through all of them, absolutely, he becomes an inspiration to everybody. Also, the 49ers can clinch the NFC West on Sunday in a couple different ways. If the Niners win on Sunday, they clinch the NFC West. If the Niners lose on Sunday, but the Rams also wind up losing on Sunday, the Niners will clinch the NFC West. So the Niners are closing in on that, and that's obviously the first step. Every team's goal at the beginning of the year is win your division. Win your division. Starts there. And so the Niners can accomplish that goal on Sunday with either a win over the Cardinals or a Rams loss in their game. And congratulations also are in order for Kyle Juszczyk. He's one of 6 finalists for the Art Rooney Sportsmanship Award, which is given out annually. Juszczyk is a fantastic guy. Everybody knows that at this point. And there's some stiff competition for this award. He's one of 8 finalists for the award. The other finalists are Max Crosby of the Raiders, Khalil Mack, C.J. Mosley, Kevin Zeitler, the offensive lineman, Budda Baker, another mention for Budda Baker in this video, Dak Prescott, and Bobby Wagner. So all those guys have done a lot of good things, I'm sure, in their communities and are considered to be outstanding as far as sportsmanship. And that's why these are the finalists for the Sportsmanship Award. And I hope it goes to Kyle Juszczyk because Juszczyk is a good dude. And he plays the game hard, but he plays the game right. We had a chance to talk to Brock Purdy, Steve Wilks, and Chris Forster today. Wilks says, with Burks out and the possibility that Greenlaw could be out, or at least less than 100%, that they're trying to get D. Winters and Jalen Graham up to speed. I asked him specifically about Graham because I said, I told Steve, I think Graham's a star. I think Graham is a really terrific young player. And he said that, Graham played kind of a safety linebacker hybrid role at Purdue. And so he's not quite as advanced as D. Winters is. So Winters, due to the fact that Graham played kind of a safety / linebacker hybrid role there at Purdue, is a little bit ahead of Jalen Graham. So Winters sounds like he'll be the first guy up. Warren Burks is probably going to miss a couple weeks, so Winters, I would imagine, is going to get some run. But Steve really likes what he's seen from Winters and Jalen Graham. And then he added that, and I also asked him about Darrell Luter, and he said, you know what? Credit goes to John Lynch. He said, he goes, I really think that we hit on all of these young guys. Jair Brown, Darrell Luter, Womack, Lenore. You think of some of the young players, Jalen Graham, D. Winters. He's like, we've got a lot of young players on our defense, and I credit Lynch and the personnel department, he said, for hitting on these guys. That they found these guys in the draft, and in his mind, every single one of them can play. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Had a chance to talk to Brock Purdy a little bit about, or asked Brock Purdy about the fact that Jerry Rice dapped him up before the game. And he said, that he kind of shared with me that Jerry, gave him a little pep talk and just mentioned how cool that was. And so good day down here in Ninerland. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. And, of course, thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code KRUG, and they will match you up to your first $100. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.